Hello guys, welcome back to Tactical Trafford, and we are having one of the busiest transfer window in the world, and we don't really have time to be going over a lot of things, so we just dive into the video. So today we are going to be talking about what actually is best for Manchester United in this transfer window. So we are going to be going in a lot of stories about Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Sancho, Antony, and most importantly Bryan Mbeumo. As you all know, we have gotten the first signing of the summer wrapped up, Matthias Koha from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So that one is done. We have one player in the bag. We have one player, in the bag, and we're looking forward to more. Preferably, I would like 6 players more, but I know that for some financial reasons that might not be possible. So let's go over to the first story of the day. So we want to go into the biggest headline of basically this transfer window for Manchester United, which is actually Bruno Fernandes. Because as we all know, post Sir Alex Ferguson era, Bruno Fernandes has been probably the best player in Manchester United, and we cannot argue the fact that he has been really crucial to this team. He has been really important to this team. So let's go over to the transfer details of Bruno Fernandes. As it has been reported by Fabrizio Romano, it has been reported by Jacobs Ben that he's actually considering the offer with his family. So it's not just about the financial packages or about what is being offered, but he's something that he's considering with his family. And if his family doesn't really get the feedback that he really wants, then maybe he might stay in Manchester United. But the way things are going now, from the reports of Jacobs Ben, it has been suggested that he's actually leaning towards the move, and I actually feel that Bruno Fernandes is going to leave because he didn't actually reject Al Hilal. If he didn't want to go to the Saudi Pro League, he would have said from the start that I don't want to go, because last summer Paris Saint-Germain came for him, but he spoke to the board, he spoke to Ten Hag, spoke to Wilcox, he spoke to Dan Ashworth, and then he ended up staying to 2028, signing the new deal last year. But I think in this case, he did not just say no, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. He was actually considering. His agent has gone to Saudi Arabia. His agent is back now in Europe to discuss with Fernandes and to discuss also with Manchester United what might be the right transfer fee to offer if need arises. So I think this is the situation with the Bruno Fernandes situation. I think it's going to get really intense this week. There's going to be lots of developments around Bruno Fernandes, and also it has been reported by Cavasolico in Sky Sports and Fabrizio Romano that Jadon Sancho is actually in the contract terms discussion with Chelsea. They are trying to know the contract situation of Jadon Sancho. They are trying to negotiate down his contract, and then if they can be able to reach a contract agreement, then he can be able to go to Chelsea as their player. So that is actually the situation on Jadon Sancho. If he agrees to stay in Chelsea in a more lower wages, then he's going to stay in Chelsea, and then Chelsea are not going to pay the 5 million compensation. Instead, they are going to trigger the 25 million release clause in his contract. So moving over to Antony, I think Liberty's owners and CEOs and sporting directors has emphasized on the fact that Antony will be really difficult to keep because of his salary and because of probably the expensive package that will be demanded by Manchester United in the transfer fee. So I think Antony, in the case of Antony's situation, I think that it really depends on what Liberty wants to do, and I know that a lot of other European clubs are going to move into the Antony race, because I've been seeing links about Atletico Madrid. Let's see how that develops throughout the week. I think he might actually end up in the Spanish league because he has done well. He has proven well in the Spanish league. I don't think he might go to any other league. Just my thoughts. I don't know about further development about Antony Santos. So let's just wait and see what happens with Antony actually, because I know that there's going to be a lot of movement, especially around the Manchester United forwarders. So let's go over to Marcus Rashford. As you all know, he's been wanting to go to Barcelona since January, and then it didn't happen. And then Fabrizio Romano has also quoted again that his dream is to play for Barcelona. He wants to play for Barcelona. But from reports coming from Spain, it has been suggested that Barcelona actually want to get Marcus Rashford on a loan and with an option to buy. But Manchester United wants a permanent sale for £40 million, which actually is going to be a very good deal because it's going to be a pure profit. He's an academy player. He's going to help in the PSR book. So this is actually the kind of deals we want to be doing. I think when it comes to selling players like Marcus Rashford, Antony, Sancho, we don't need like a loan with option to buy anymore, because it's not going to profit us in the transfer window. So we actually need a straight deal, like permanent sales, that is going to help in the PSR book and is going to help in purchasing more players. So I think the Rashford situation is that I don't think that he wants to go to another club. He never actually wanted to go to Villa. I think he went to Villa just to like prove everyone wrong, that he still had this fire and this zeal of football in him, because just like he always says, he just wants to enjoy football. So I think in the case of Marcus Rashford, let's leave that for Barcelona, because he has always wanted to go to Barcelona. He didn't want to play in any other Premier League club apart from Manchester United. So for Marcus Rashford, let's leave Marcus Rashford for Barcelona. So this is actually the case for Manchester United. And also going to Bryan Mbeumo, Fabrizio Romano has quoted multiple times that Manchester United wants to add one more number 10 to Ruben Amorim's squad. And Ruben Amorim has actually approved the plan for one more number 10 after Matheus Cunha, which I think is going to actually increase, because Garnacho is going to leave. That is going to make it like probably like 4 attackers leaving, plus Rasmus Højlund also included. He's someone that has been tracked by the Serie A like Juventus, Napoli, Inter Milan. So I think that Rasmus Højlund also is going to leave. He's not safe. So I think generally somehow we might add like 4 attackers. So going over to the Bryan Mbeumo, I think Bryan Mbeumo is a player that actually suits Manchester United. And you know, when Ruben Amorim likes to play on the transition, Bryan Mbeumo is actually good in transition because of the kind of football that Brentford play. And I rate Bryan Mbeumo so well because his right back in Brentford don't overlap. I think Bryan Mbeumo does almost all the works by himself. He's not someone that needs an overlapping right back or a wing back to perform. He performs regardless of the abilities of the right back to overlap or not. So I think that's why I like Bryan Mbeumo. He's a good threat. He's Premier League proven. He scored 20 goals last season with 9 assists. So he's good in crosses, transition, scoring, assisting. He has a very good creation. And I'm going to be making a video this week about Bryan Mbeumo, so you guys should stay tuned for that video. So actually, I want us to get a player like Bryan Mbeumo. It's actually going to be nice. And Manchester United is also going to have a lot of movements, especially around Alejandro Garnacho. Ben Jacobs reported that Chelsea wants a right-footed left wing back, and they have a short list of Jeremy Gittins. They have a short list of Alejandro Garnacho, and I'll be actually stunned if we sell Alejandro Garnacho for 40 million, because many average and mid players has been sold for more prices in recent years in the Premier League. And selling a player like Garnacho for 20 million, in the past 2 seasons he's had like 38 goals and assists. He's just 20. He has potential. He's going to do well in the future. I think selling a player like Garnacho for 40 million is actually going to be bad from the reports coming out from last week. So I think we really need to demand nothing less than 60 million euros or 60 million pounds for Alejandro Garnacho, as the case may be. So this is what I have for this video, guys. I know that there's going to be a lot of developments, a lot of outgoings, especially if Bruno Fernandes leaves. So I'm going to leave that for another video. I just want to give you guys all the transfer window gist and all the transfer window movements. As I promised you guys, this transfer window we are going to be talking a lot about Manchester United, all the updates, every movement, all the steps of the way, from the initial talks to the club-to-club talks to the personal terms to the medicals. I'm going to be carrying out all the informations. So if you find this video very interesting, I'd like you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Old Trafford, as we're going to be talking a lot about Manchester United in this transfer window. Remember, this transfer window started June 1st and we have completed our first signing. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section about who you feel Manchester United is going to sign next. Is it Bryan Mbeumo? Is he a goalkeeper? Is it Felix Mecha? Who do you actually think that Manchester United is going to sign next? I'm going to see you guys in my next video.